Hi friends, this is Susie, your Candy Crush Guru. It is December 4th, 2019, and I'm going to start a new segment called SuzyQ and A, where I attempt to answer questions that viewers have about the game, about my journey through the Candy Kingdom, and, well, really just anything that you have for me, I'll try to answer if it's an appropriate question. So, I'm going to start today with a question that is about to become much more significant and much more prevalent. And it is the question that thousands of people have voiced already, which is, Susie, it seems that you have the opportunity to exit and enter without losing a life or any boosters, and you show it on your video, but when I try it, I lose my lives and my boosters. And here's the bad news. King did take that away from quite a few people last year, and their plan is to take it away from everybody. So there you go. There's the bombshell I had to drop today. And I'm going to try to explain my historical perspective of this as quickly as I can. So it used to be that we had this cute little flash game that I could play on my PC, or people could play on mobile devices, and then the company changed management. Actually, it was bought out, and they made quite a few changes, and one that seemed very good was they were going to change how the game was coded and move it to HTML5, which was a kind of bigger, better, faster way to code a game. But with it came a lot of changes, and when they introduced these changes, a lot of us were reticent to accept them. It changed the way the whole game played. I actually went down to the bottom and started redoing all of the recordings because there was such a significant change. But for those of us who complained, over at the King Care website, they said, oh, don't worry, this is so much better. First of all, we've got so many more mini games where you can get boosters. And second of all, you can exit and enter without losing any lives. So that's a really strong advantage that you should really use. And so I took them at their word, and I started using that, and I recorded hundreds, if not thousands, of videos showing me exiting and entering so I could get a good board to start the game with. Well, then comes August 2019, and I start getting reports from folks that say it no longer works for them. And even though it's not strictly based on this, it seemed the predominant number of these complaints were coming from folks who were either on a mobile device or an iOS device. So that it was a situation, and the only thing I could tell them at that point in time was that I was so sorry, and they could contact King if they wanted, and that the other thing that they could try to do is play on a different device or browser, since I still had the availability. But what I did personally is I stopped recording levels that showed me exiting and entering. I stopped using that as an advantage since so many people lost that feature. And going forward, I don't use it, even though I still have so many videos that show it. And I never would have made it one video with it if I had known that they were going to take it away. So anyway, that's my perspective on it. And as we've gone through, I've hoped that they would give back that ability, especially because the way we accept and send lives to friends is so messed up on so many devices and has been for so long. And so this was a way to kind of even that out. Well, I don't get all the lives I should be getting, but at least I have the ability to exit and enter so I don't lose my lives. Well, needless to say, they haven't corrected it for the folks who lost it. As a matter of fact, in the beginning of the year, this year, a lot of us who had it still lost the opportunity. But then it kind of righted itself within about 48 hours, so it wasn't as big a deal. And now we advance to December of 2019. And they have changed the appearance of this board. And right away I thought, oh no, they took away the opportunity for us. Instead of giving it back to people, they took it away from us. Because it does look like that. And so if I enter a board, I was afraid I was going to lose any boosters I brought in. Here I have 122 color bombs and 77 striped trapped. And so I go in here, and then when I go to exit, it says end game. And that looks ominous. It looks like I'm going to be losing a life and my boosters. But thankfully I found out, no, I keep my lives and I keep the 122 color bombs and the 77 striped wrapped. So that looked good. And then a dear sweet woman named Elsa, and I should just dedicate this whole video to her, a dear sweet woman named Elsa who really knows a lot about the game and really tries to improve the game for as many people as she can. She's just a sweetheart. Anyway, she let me know that they are taking away the opportunity to exit and enter. And so if I go to King Community, it says, heads up, game issue with lives is going to be fixed. And at first, you read that and you think, yay, I haven't been able to receive lives or send lives, to and from my friends for so long, and it's going to be fixed. But no, hold on. As we read from this community manager, this is what he says. Dear community, I'd like to share with you some information in regards to I'll say an old known issue of the game. As you may be aware, when we access a level, we don't use any move and we exit the level without playing it, we don't lose any life. Well, for some of us. This behavior was not intended since the very beginning, and very soon this issue is going to be fixed. That means that once it's fixed, if we access a level to check it out, we don't do anything, and we decide to exit the level to go back to the map, we will be losing a life. Thank you very much for your understanding. Have a delicious day, and let's keep crushing. And that was sent out December 2nd on the King Community website. So there you have it, folks. If the studio has their way, then we will be losing this advantage. They don't appear to have fixed the problems with sending and receiving lives, but they're going to fix this so that we can no longer exit a level without any kind of penalty, which is a shame also because I remember one of the reasons that I complained about the changes is on the old platform, we used to be able to hover over a dot on the board and see kind of a snapshot of that level, see what we were facing. And that way we could determine which booster might be best. If I've got a whole bunch of boosters and I want to bring one in, which one might be best to use in that instance. And we can't do that now. If we want to see what the level is like, we have to go into the level to examine it. And because they have these new things like, rewards for beating the level on the first try, it's especially important that we want to gauge what we're going to be experiencing so we have the best chance of being successful in that particular area. Anyway, that's my rant for the day. It's supposed to be a question and answer turned into a rant, but hey, I think that those of you who are just as frustrated as I will be able to forgive me for that. If this was helpful, I would ask that you folks consider liking and subscribing. If you have any questions or comments, please put those below. I do try to be as interactive with my YouTube audience as I possibly can. So you can even ask some personal questions, just not inappropriate personal questions. Or certainly, of course, questions about the game that you want answered, or even about my new YouTube channel that is going to be launching very soon that I am doing with my son, who is 17 years old, and I expect to have a really good time with this. We're mostly playing retro games right now. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, as always. Bye-bye.